Adapt and overcome. Hey everybody, this is Michael with Asymmetrical Preparedness. With everything going on in the world around us and events happening, speeding up maybe, your ability to adapt and overcome in a variety of situations is very important. It can save your life. It can save the life of others. The ability to think quickly, to react quickly, but not just quickly. Speed isn't necessarily good if you're not doing it effectively. So to react appropriately, quickly, timely, appropriately, that is an important skill set to have. The ability to critically think on your toes, to adapt and overcome whatever situation you may be faced with. When society totally collapses, there's going to be a lot. That world is going to be very dynamic. It will be changing quickly. So our ability to adapt and overcome, to think through problems, to think through situations, will be very important if we plan on living. And this is where we talk about prepping, right? Prepping is living insurance. So this is all part of being prepared. Your mind is a very important part of it. Before I go any further though, if you could please subscribe, hit that thumbs up, comment, share the videos, anything like that helps us out. Helps us reach more people, helps us empower and uplift more people. Which is very important nowadays. The more people we reach, whether it's you guys talking to people via your YouTube channel, via Facebook, text, phone, in person, preferred. And I apologize about the throat and stuff like that. I'm still getting over that. The big C, I'm pretty sure I had it, but because it was horrible. So I still got like stuff coming up in my chest. I apologize. It is what it is. Yes, face-to-face is important. But I guess a lot of it is the way you can better yourself and get better at this is getting outside your box. Getting outside your comfort zone. Doing things that you may not necessarily have much experience doing. Experiencing new things. And not backing away from challenges. If there's any challenge you're faced with, whether it's your washing machine stopped working, okay, instead of calling that repairman, break out YouTube. Learn how to fix it yourself. Maybe it's not worth fixing. Maybe you got to buy a new one anyway. But the point is that you don't just defer to somebody else to fix your problems. First off, a lot of times you'll end up saving money. Another thing is you will learn something. Another thing is that you will change your mind and adapt your mind into being in that mode of solving your own problems. Not relying on somebody else. We all know about crime nowadays. We all know about law enforcement's lack of ability to do much about it. And or willingness to do much about it. Whether it's they're defunded, whether it's their lack of manpower because, they didn't get the forced thing, because it violated their free will that God gave them. Whatever the reason. Especially theft and other things like that, they're not coming. We got to take care of ourselves. So a lot of this comes from the ability to adapt and overcome, to think for ourselves. It's going to be a very, very, very important skill set in a total collapse, SHTF, end of the world as we know it scenario. Being able to figure things out, look at something and say, like, if you need to take something apart, look at something and say, okay, well here, these are where the screws are, these are where the bolts are, okay, this looks like it attaches here, and then you say, okay, and then you take it apart. You got to remember how you took it apart, so you remember how to put it back together, though. Remember that. And then how to look at things and just pay attention to things. How do things go together? Maybe a good practice exercise would be to grab something that you have, disassemble it, put it back together. It's not that it's that difficult. It's not that that one act will save you in an SHTF scenario. What that's doing is it's training your brain to think like that, to think about how do I disassemble something and then reassemble it. It's all about the deconstruction and then reconstruction and the way your brain functions as far as being able to think effectively and figure things out. It could be your defensive tool. One of those things. Take it apart, clean it, put it back together. Then take it apart again, then put it back together. Then take it apart again, then put it back together. Then do it blindfolded, whenever you get good at it. But make sure you're doing it in an area where you're not going to lose the little pieces. Yeah, challenge yourself. Pick a new skill set to learn that's outside your comfort zone. What it is, it's training your brain to always think instead of going into hibernation mode. We don't want our brains or our bodies or our lives in hibernation mode. We want it in active mode. We want it in active thinking, active perception. We want it, people say head on a swivel. What does that mean? Does your head spinning around like a crazy person or something in a movie? No, it doesn't mean that. It means always aware of your surroundings. What's around you? And it's not just face value what's here, what's right in front of me. Okay, what's down? What's up? What's above me? Is there something in the trees above me? Is there somebody, a threat on that next level in the mall that you're walking through? You know, if you're aware, if your head is on a swivel, if you're paying attention to your surroundings and you're looking for situations that you might need to dynamically adapt yourself to and react to, then your brain will be rewiring itself to think like that, to think critically, to analyze what's going on, so that you will be much better equipped, much better able to quickly, effectively react to whatever the situation is. Like I said, if it's taking apart your washer to figure out how to fix it, if it's taking apart your defensive tool to clean it, if it is figuring out how to build a chicken coop, figuring out how to build a raised bed, figuring out how to build a compost bin, any of these things. Just do things. Pick things you've never done before and just do them. Little projects around the house. Take care of things around your house that need taken care of. Instead of calling the repairman, do it yourself. Same with your vehicle. Instead of taking it in for an oil change, do it yourself. How about changing those belts? What about checking your hoses? What about that transmission service? What about rotating your tires? They're all fairly easy things to do. And if you're actively doing things and looking for things like that to do, to try new experiences, you are wiring your brain to be more effective. And that is a very important thing. Rewiring our brains, if your brain is wired to be complacent, to be asleep, to be hibernation mode. We don't want that. We want active, aware, highly functioning brains. Because this, next to him, is the most powerful tool in preparedness, in survival. Ask anybody, was it the fancy tool that they have? Was it the gadget that they had in a survival situation, or was it their brain that got them through, and their willpower, their soul? That's what got them through. Some fancy tool may have helped them, but it's the brain, it's their willpower, it's their ability to adapt and overcome that got them through the situation, no matter what challenging situation you're in. So try new things, experiencing new things, get outside your box, outside your comfort zone. Do things that are difficult, do things that are challenging. That's how you grow, that's how you learn. So I hope this encourages you guys to do just that. To push yourselves, to challenge yourselves. Make sure you're being safe while you're doing it, of course. Don't want anybody getting hurt out there. But yeah, let's train our brains, let's harden ourselves. Let's get hard and stay hard. I love you guys, have a wonderful day, and blessings to you and yours.